December 9th, 2025. A deep low-pressure system over the North Atlantic, named Storm Bram, begins to slam straight into Ireland and then charge on toward the United Kingdom. From early morning along the west-facing coasts and higher ground, the wind is already roaring. In many places, anemometers register gusts close to 90 miles per hour. The strength of a powerful storm, more than enough to topple trees, rip off roofs, and make trucks sway across the road. While the wind hasn't eased at all, intense rain bands start lining up and sweeping onto the land. South Wales, southwest England, parts of Ireland and Scotland take the full hit of these rain bombs. In less than 24 hours, some locations receive an amount of rain equivalent to a very large portion of their entire average December rainfall, turning ground that was already saturated into giant sponges pushed far beyond their limit. As the wind and rain combine, the consequences appear almost immediately. Authorities begin issuing flood warnings and alerts one after another. Rivers and streams burst their banks. Familiar roads suddenly turn into fast-moving, muddy brown channels. In some low-lying spots, the road surface disappears completely beneath murky floodwater. Rescue crews are stretched thin. In Hampshire, Dorset, Cornwall, and Devon, one call after another comes in about drivers trapped in rising water. Some people are forced to climb onto the roof of their cars to wait for help. In Northern Ireland, a school bus becomes stuck in deep floodwater, surrounded by dozens of other vehicles unable to move, forcing rescue teams to operate in fierce winds and poor visibility. Major bridges spanning the River Severn, the vital link between southwest England and South Wales, are gradually closed or restricted to fewer lanes. The wind is simply too strong, waves on the river are running high, and concerns about structural safety are no longer theoretical. The transport system, already tightly interdependent, is hit from nearly every angle at once. On the roads, many main routes and motorways lie underwater. Crashes occur in conditions of slippery surfaces and very poor visibility. Some stretches are closed completely, forcing vehicles onto diversions that add tens of miles to the journey.
Jesus Christ.
If you're still watching at this point, it means you truly care about how storms and climate are reshaping our world. Don't forget to hit the like button so YouTube knows you want more in-depth analysis like this. And if you haven't already, tap subscribe to Global Weather Disasters, because after Bram, we'll be breaking down many more storms together, from Europe and Asia to the Atlantic Basin. Now let's look at what Bram revealed about weaknesses in our infrastructure and what we can learn from that. Aviation descends into a day of chaos. At Belfast, Dublin, Manchester, and Glasgow, departure boards constantly flip between cancelled, delayed, and diverted flights. Many aircraft attempt to approach the runway in strong crosswinds, circling for more than an hour before pilots make a difficult decision: either divert to another airport or turn back to where they took off. Offshore, ferry routes across the Irish Sea and out to the western Scottish islands are cancelled en masse. With huge waves and violent winds, sea conditions simply do not allow for any risk-taking. As night falls, the situation is still far from calm. Amber wind warnings remain in force for northwest Scotland and parts of Ireland. Forecasts highlight the dangers of extremely strong winds, flash flooding, and flying debris that could pose a direct threat to life. Only by the following day does Bram gradually weaken, leaving behind waterlogged land, widespread flooding, and a transport and infrastructure system that will need many more days to fully recover. So what exactly turned Bram from a normal North Atlantic winter storm into such an extreme event? From a meteorological point of view, Bram was a powerful extratropical cyclone. Unlike tropical cyclones that form over warm seas, this kind of storm is born when cold polar air plunges southward and collides with warm, moist air from lower latitudes. High above, a strong jet stream acts like a turbocharger, deepening the low-pressure system and rapidly strengthening surface winds. In Bram's case, we had a near-perfect combo of risk factors.
It's flooding the road. It's actually flooding the whole road.
From Bram's story, there are several key lessons we should remember. First, early season storms are not gentle warm-ups. In early December, when many people are busy with year-end work, travel plans, and Christmas shopping, it's tempting to believe the worst weather is still far away. Bram shows that very powerful storms can arrive early in the season, and that complacency can be dangerous. Second, we cannot think of storms as a single isolated risk. It's never just strong wind or heavy rain. It's an entire chain of connected hazards. Wind brings trees down, fallen trees knock out power, power cuts disrupt transport and communications, rescue operations become harder, and the damage lasts longer. If we only prepare for one part of that chain, we will be caught off guard by the others. Third, adaptation is no longer optional. It is essential. At national and local levels, that means upgrading urban drainage systems, rethinking development in low-lying and riverside areas, and designing bridges, roads, railways, and power networks with storms like Bram as part of the new normal, not rare exceptions. Finally, at the individual level, personal preparedness is our first line of defense. We need to follow official weather warnings from meteorological agencies and local authorities, avoid driving through floodwater even when it looks shallow, and keep a basic storm emergency kit ready. Drinking water, non-perishable food, a flashlight, batteries, or a power bank, warm clothing, and basic medicine. We should secure outdoor items, check roofs and windows before a storm arrives, and remember to check in on elderly neighbors, people with health conditions, and anyone who might struggle during a power cut or prolonged flooding. These small actions won't weaken the storm, but they can reduce damage, limit panic, and help us recover faster each time extreme weather hits. If you've lived through Bram or other major storms like Eunice, Babet, or Eowyn, share your story in the comments. What did you experience during the storm? Were the warnings you received early and clear enough? How did you prepare? And what actually helped you the most when things got difficult? If this video helped you understand storms and climate change more clearly, don't forget to hit like, share it with friends, and subscribe to Global Weather Disasters so you don't miss our next deep dive analysis.